The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild by Nintendo is a Game of the Year winner, and deservedly so. The game fully reinvents the wheel on what we would normally expect, and is the first in the series to offer DLC. The Champions Ballad released just this past December and gave us a look at what a story expansion DLC would look like for Zelda. And with as big as a world as they have managed to create, here are a few of my ideas on what Nintendo can do next on a possible expansion. So to start things off, I already know that Eiji Aonuma, the producer on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and many other titles in the franchise, said in an interview that there would be no more DLC coming as the game has been marked as fully complete. Now for those who did play the DLC, it was alright, and I'll have to say the end boss did catch me off guard. However, I still feel there could be so much more to explore and go into, so whether Nintendo changes their minds later on, well, I mean, look at how long it took for Breath of the Wild. Quick warning, as I will be talking about elements of the game's story, so if you haven't finished it or the DLC, go do that first and then come back to this video. You have been warned. So, like many of you, I find it excruciating that I can never truly save Hyrule, and whenever I go back into my save, Ganon is still alive. Furthermore, it's not like the job is done as Hyrule is still pretty much in shambles. Heck, even when Zelda herself says in the ending that it's time to rebuild, it's time to rebuild. So how about appointing the new champions and bringing them to the castle? How about you going to each of the regions, getting individuals to come back and help rebuild Hyrule Castle or Hyrule Castle Town? One thing that did spring to mind, however, is that once the Calamity Ganon's influence is gone, it would mean that monsters would disappear and the Guardians would return to normal. Now you might be thinking, well, the world would seem pretty empty after that. Not entirely, as there is still one force lurking in the shadows that need to be dealt with in order to fully gain peace, and that would be the Yiga clan. It would be amazing to see one final battle between Link, Zelda and the new champions in Hyrule Castle Town or even Hyrule Field. The Yiga clan, who have now lost their master in Ganon and have nothing to lose, attack their foes with revenge on their mind. Or everyone could get together and take another picture. Who knows? Aha, the battle of 100 years ago. So, for those who don't know, which it would be pretty difficult for you not to know, a huge battle took place 100 years prior to Breath of the Wild, which saw the murder of the champions, the destruction of Hyrule and its king, along with Link's defeat and eventual slumber. While the end is already predetermined, of course due to how the game starts, I still think that time period would be really cool to explore. Imagine walking around a Hyrule castle or town while everything was still flourishing, getting the champions together and going through the battle with Ganon's forces while protecting Zelda. Yes, this was all shown via the memories in the game, but it would still be interesting to see it through actual gameplay and just give the backstory a lot more emphasis as we would actually play through it this time. So, like I've and I'm sure many of you noticed, there is a lot of cosmetic DLC in Breath of the Wild, and while it's cool being able to wear costumes and items from previous games or donning the whole Tingle outfit, I immediately thought there could have been so much more done in order to make it more meaningful. In some of the teasers for the game, Nintendo purposely wanted us to remember these buildings or areas from previous titles, so why not make that a bigger part of the gameplay overall? Alright, stick with me here, gonna go a little bit over the top here. So imagine, instead of going through Trial of the Sword in order to awaken the Master Sword's full power, you instead go through small gameplay callbacks from previous games that have you complete a challenge of some sort. Imagine being warped over to the Twilight Zone and taking on Zant, or seeing the sky from Skyward Sword again in some form. There are so many references already everywhere in Breath of the Wild, so why not? Granted, it would take a lot of work to complete, and in the end it could end up being just one massive Easter egg, but I think the fans would love it absolutely, only if Nintendo decide to do something like that. All in all, when it comes down to it, Breath of the Wild is a phenomenal game, and while it's not perfect, it indeed pushes the series in a direction where I'm excited to see what Nintendo does with it next, unless they decide to go back to the previous format. So what do you think of some of the ideas I presented? Would you do anything different? Do you even want any more Breath of the Wild DLC? Let me know down in the comments below or on any of the social media I'm on. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that like button, share it with all your friends and subscribe to the channel for further content updates in the future. And so, until next time guys.